All right, we are live now. So what I'm going to be showing you in this presentation is how to use the conditional corridor subassembly. And I'm going to start off with looking a little bit at this sample project that I got from Mexico City. It's a little subdivision they're working on, and what they're trying to do is grade the roadway here and the front part of the parcels, and then the rest of the lots are the rest of the lot is up to the individual property owners to grade in order to put in their house or their structure that they're building. All right, so I'm going to start off here, and hopefully this all shows up. I'm going to go into View and Edit Corridor here, and I'll start the first station. And the problem we ran into is they're doing a slope here. We're max slope at 4:1. Well, on the left side here, 4:1's almost parallel to existing, or darn near parallel to existing, that it never catches. So they were not getting a daylight slope on the left side here, and that was done for quite a few stations here as we work our way down the road. And then we get up to, I think, one more here. Then we get up to a point where the terrain flattened out a little bit, and then they were able to catch. So that was the problem they came to me with is, okay, how do we fix this, or how can we make it so we can go straighter? But the problem is they had a criteria that the front 5 meters or 6 meters, I got a picture here, has to be no steeper than 4:1 or 25%. All right, so let me close out of this, and what I'll do is I'll jump over to our cross sections here. All right, so this is the corridor assembly that we were using. So it's just a simple, was it 3 meter? So it's a 6 meter edge of pavement to edge of pavement, and then we just did 4:1 slopes off of that. Okay, what they wanted is how can we do something like this where when it's in cut, we go up at 25%. When we're in fill, we go down at 25%. And then at some point, you go real steep at that 5-meter offset. You go down at 1:1, and then in cut, you go up 0.5 to 1. Okay. I actually got to go out and see one of their projects in probably a very similar area, similar terrain. And the ground out there is like sandstone. They literally do 0.5 to 1 cuts on these things, and they're pretty stable slopes. It's pretty amazing to see. It almost looks like they shotcreted it, but that's just the existing terrain in these areas around Mexico City. So interesting stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build. I'm going to put a crown on it. He just sent this as a quick example of what they're trying to do. So I'm going to do this similar to this one, but I'm going to do it as using the conditional elements so I can check to see whether it's in cut or whether it's in fill. And I'm actually going to do it twice to kind of expand on some of the concept here. All right. To use the conditional assembly, first off, is it did not come with Civil 3D 2009 out of the box. It was something that we got as a subscription add-in. So if you want to use that conditional subassembly, you have to actually load it into your computer. So I'm going to start off with that. And there's a command on the corridor utilities down at the bottom where you can import a subassembly. And there are special little subassembly zip files that Autodesk makes to distribute these. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And where these are located is I'm going to then browse, and we actually have them on our Q drive. In the CAD folder, there's a Civil 3D folder, and then there's a subscription subassemblies for 2009 folder. And in there, what they have is they have the conditional subassemblies, and then they have just some variations of a crown road, shoulder widening, some additional trenches with pipes. And then the one I want to bring in today, I'm actually working in meters on this job, so I need the metric conditional. So you'd pick open, and then you tell it what tool palette you want to add it to. Okay, or you can add it to the tool catalog. I go ahead and just add it to the palette, and then you can pick all of your palettes that you want. You maybe make a new palette ahead of time. I've actually already imported it, so pretend I hit OK. I'm going to actually hit cancel because I brought it in yesterday. And then what you'll see is on your palette, if I come down, oh, behave. did I change that to? I want metric. There we go. And of course now I've screwed up my, there they go. Bear with me a sec. For some reason, maybe I do need to re-import it here. Hang on a sec. All right. For some reason, when I go to here, my icon, my buttons disappear when I bring it over into the go-to meeting screen here. I had them when I pull it in my other monitor, they show up, but for some reason they don't show up here. But we do get this conditional cut or fill subassembly added. And what it does is you can specify ranges of cut or fill. It will then check that against your existing surface, and then based on that range, it will then apply whatever subassemblies you have attached to the conditional subassembly. And hopefully this will become a little clearer as I go through and do this. So I'm going to start right here. I'm going to make a new assembly. All right, so we'll just call it conditional. And I got one with markers. There we go. And we'll just pop it in right there so we can kind of see what's going on. So I'm going to kind of mimic this a little bit. So I need first off my road sections, and I'm going to cheat, and I'm just going to say copy to. Bear with me, I don't. And we'll grab that one, and we'll say copy to. All right, so I got my first two pieces here, and let me rename some things real quick here just so I have this done. So this will be, come on, there we go. I can never type when people are watching. Conditional left. And I spelled it wrong on the other one, didn't I? That'll work for me. And then we got our left and right lane. I'm going to go ahead and leave those as they are for now. All right, so what we want to do is I'm going to say at this point, I would like to test whether I'm in cut or fill to determine which lot type to put on there. So I'm going to come over and click on my conditional. And in the properties that comes up here, I tell it what side I want it to be on. Then I have a layout width and grade, and this is purely just to build kind of a spider diagram of the if-then statements. And then you put in whether it's cut and then your minimum maximum distances. Right. So right now we're just going to do the granddaddy of everything. We're going to say 0 to 1,000. I want this to be cut, and then I'm going to offset it a little bit more than that. I'm going to go like 8 meters, and we'll go ahead and leave it at 1 to 1 for now. And I'm going to say attach that to this point here. Okay. So what it does is it puts this little spider item on here. It's not going to draw that in the assembly when I apply it to my corridor. I'm just creating a kind of a logical diagram. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and throw one on for fill as well. All right, and we'll attach it to the same point. All right. So then I'm going to say hit return a couple of times. And then what I want to do in cut, I want to go 5 meters at 4 to 1. So I'm going to go link width and slope. So I'm going to go right. I'm going to go 5 meters at 25%. And we'll put top and datum, and then I'll zoom in, and we'll attach that right there. Okay, so we'll attach, so if it matches this cut condition, it's going to put that on it. And then what I'll do is I'll change this to -25, and we'll put that one down there. So in fill, I will do that. All right, so everybody kind of following what's going on. And then what I need to do is oh, am I getting a fatal error? Yes, I am. can smell that one coming. They're a little buggy. No, it won't recover. I apologize for that. And of course I didn't save. So there's quality and repetition here. All right, what I need to do, I deleted it from my drawing. I think I need to do an audit on my file here. Come on, load up. Back on my window. All right, so let's try this again. So I need an assembly. All right, I'm not going to name left and right for now. I'll just we'll just keep going on in here. All right, corridor, palette, save. Oh, sure, now they're going to show up this time, so maybe that's a good sign. They didn't show up last time, so I want my conditional. And we'll pop this up over here. So I'm going to go, what did I say, about 8 meters, cut. And we'll put that on there. And we'll do one on fill. And while I'm at it, I'll do the left side, I guess, as well. Left, I'm going to do cut for just to kind of keep them in a somewhat logical order here. All right. Throw in a few Q saves. All right, so now I need my width. And I'm going to do the right side again. I want 5 meters at 25. All right, see, will this let me exit this time? Dang. Well, I don't think I'm going to do this today. And of course, I didn't save my drawing from yesterday. That worked beautifully when I did this. So anyhow, there's something with this file. You saw there's some of those multiply owned objects in there. So I may have to do this separately. I'm not sure I'm going to get this to go. I'll try it one last time here. And then I will give up because I have a bad file. I had it working yesterday and the other day, so One was repaired. At least I saved that time. All right, one last shot here. Corridor, pallet. I'm going to do just one. I got one on. All right. Got that. So far, so good. Oh, we're getting there. All right, so we got those pieces done. Let me quickly save. And then I'm just going to finish off with some daylighting on here. And I'll just do max width. Is a good simple one here. So you're right, we need to be 0.5. And in fill, we need to be 1. Max width, I'll say look within 20 meters. All right. So we got the guy in there now. So let me apply this to the corridor here.
Do you still have it?
So I'm going to change it to the conditional assembly. And because we have so many more targets now, plus I changed it, but you'll see now the conditionals have a surface target that I need to tell it, okay, at the point I've inserted the conditional subassembly, check the depth to this existing surface, and then we also have our daylight targets. And fortunately for us, they're all this existing grade. And okay, and I got a surface going here using the top, and I need to redo the boundary here. Okay, so now you can see we did get surface all the way out here where it was dropping off. We did not have surface. Let me see if I can view edit corridors here. So then what you'll see now as we step through here is, in this case, we're in fill, so you can see both our slopes are coming down, and then we've got our 1-to-1 coming. Actually, this one's cut, so it's going up to 0.5 to 1. Okay, so we'll just kind of work our way down here. So we can see, again, it'll do that. And then once we get to where we are in a cut situation, there we go. So now as soon as this point shifts to cut, you can now see the template or the assembly is going up 5 feet at 25%, and then it's got the slope going up. Okay. Problem with that is I wasn't really happy with this because it's testing the depth here, but really where I think we need to be testing the depth is at 5 foot out. Is it in cut or fill 5 foot out? Because it doesn't make sense where I could probably go at some grade through here and just connect, maybe daylight to that point there. I don't want to create this little mound here, or back in situations where I cross over. Here I'm building this big ditch in the back, and we really don't want that. We really want to have a 25% slope going into here. All right, so let me show you a variation that I did on this. All right, so let me come over, and we're going to add a lot to this guy. And what we want to do is we want to actually apply these only. Actually, I'm going to put in an offset on here first. So this gets a little confusing, so bear with me a sec here. So we're going to add in a generic, and I'm going to do, I'll do width and slope again. Seems to work pretty good. So I'm going to go to the right, 5 meters, slope of 0, and I'm going to tell it don't include the link. I just want to put a point out at 5 meter distance from right there. Okay, so put that point right there. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to throw another one, get rid of that. Do a quick save before I get too far here. All right. Then what I want to do is I want to take these guys here and move to that point there. And I'll take these guys here and move to that point there. Okay, not quite right because I've shifted everything over, but what that's going to do now is it's setting that test point at 5 meters out. All right, so instead of testing at the edge of pavement, we're going to test it here. And then what I need to do is I'm going to add a link going the other way now. So I'm going to go to the left, 5 meters at 0%, and yes to omit. And bear with me as I want that one there. So I shifted it back, and I'm going to do the same thing on that one there. Okay, so that shifts it back. And then what I can do is say we'll take those pieces and move to that guy there, and take those pieces and move to that guy there. All right, so now what I've done is I've offset 5 feet to put my test in, and then at the other end of the test I offset back 5 feet, so when we apply this point will actually show up here. Okay, next piece I want to do is I actually want to make these conditional, so I'm going to say edit the properties on this. And what I want to do is instead of going all the way to 0, I'm going to go 1.25 because that's 5 feet at 4 to 1, or 25% is 1.25. All right, and then I'll do the same thing here. Okay, so this will only apply now when my cut depth and fill depth is between 1.2 or greater than 1.25. All right, so what I'm going to do then is add in a couple more conditions. And so I'm going to go to the right side. I'm going to put it 16, and we'll go out like 4 to 1. And then I'm going to go 0 to 1.25. All right, and then I'm going to change the condition to fill. All right, so I now have those conditions, and in those conditions, I want just a daylight max width here. I'm going to keep them at 4 to 1s, which is 25%. In case you didn't know, if it's asking for 4 to 1, I can actually type in 25% here, hit enter, and it'll do the math for you and convert it to 4 to 1 real nice for you. So I'm going to do max width. I'll go 20 feet again, and I'm going to put one on the end there, and another one on the end there. All right. Oh, right when I was about to hit Q save. Dang. All right. No, because it won't let me recover. Well, anyhow, hopefully I'm not going to run it because I'm running out of time here. What I'll do is I'll make another little video showing how to do that one. But as I was building, hopefully you see kind of how this scenario works is that at different values we can get or different depths, we can say, okay, if it's less than 1.25 feet, just daylight directly at 5 to 1. If it's greater than 1.25 feet, then I want the 5 feet at 4 to 1, and then daylight at a much steeper rate. And of course, I assumed that I would be able to recreate this without any problems this afternoon, so I did not save the actual working version of the drawing. I only have the one I've messed up. So what I'll do is I'll follow up later with a little video that shows hopefully how that works. Any questions on this? Anyone else try? I'm going to actually, before we do, I'm going to stop recording.